Worth. You're watching Big 12 basket, another Big 12 foe in Texas Tech on Monday. But it is time to start the third year under Mark Campbell and the TCU Horned Frogs. And Olivia Miles takes it for the first time, and it does not take long for the All-American to get on the board as a Horned Frog.
Not long at all, just getting downhill is one of her strengths and just putting pressure on Clark.
Didn't see a lot of zone pressing from TCU in years past. They try one there, in and out on the three-pointer by Shader, but inside, grabbing the rebound, Clara Silva. They are really excited about the sophomore transfer from Kentucky.
And you're going to see a lot of that, and we're going to talk about it a lot. 6'7", just able to go up and get a rebound and get a putback for TCU.
What'd you say?
6'7".
You did. There is a lot of that flavor for TCU this season. They have 4 players 6'7" or taller. Donovan Hunter is not 6'7", 6 foot flat, but on the reverse, it's a 6-0 run for TCU. They could not have started back in an early timeout for North Carolina A&T, trying to deal with TCU on both ends of the floor early, a daunting task.
It really is. They have such length and such strength there in white today, and so just really trying to get NCAT just in the right mindset starting this game. 3
for 4 from the field so far for TCU, but a good find underneath, and there's Shania Clark finishing at the hole from Paris Locke.
And you see the strength that she has. Silva lost her footing there, and you know that the Aggies are always going to be looking for Clark.
So Olivia Miles says she'd love to average a triple-double this season. Why not? She's got 6 of them in her career. Three-pointer out of the corner.
Texas Tech and had to sit out a lot of the game, and that really impacted North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, Robinson's team did a great job last year not fouling. They were 16th in the nation last year in least amount of fouls per game. Suarez knocks down both free throws. She is a great free throw shooter and really skilled as a forward. Shot clock did not start with the inbound, so they'll take it down to 26, and still North Carolina A&T will have until 20 on the shot clock to bring it across the midcourt line. So the new starting 5 for the TCU Horned Frogs: Olivia Miles, Donovan Hunter, and Maddie Shear at the guards, and Marta Suarez, the transfer from Cal, and Clara Silva inside. They go about 9 or 10 deep with that first wave, but they've even got some players developmentally that they'd love to see get some minutes in a game like this as well.
And I really like how TCU has came out. You can tell they're really alert, really locked into the game plan, you know, doing the little things. And you've got to start your season like that so that it can carry out throughout the season.
North Carolina A&T turned it over 22 times on the road at Texas Tech on Monday. It's a couple turnovers already, 3 to be exact. None yet for the Horned Frogs. Skip pass over the top to Hunter. Get it right back to Shear. Catch and shoot in rhythm 3. Off the rim, but Silva grabs the rebound. TCU right back at it. Nice pass. How do you handle that? To Silva right back out top. And Hunter unable to hit. Miles attacking the rebound, but Clark secures it.
And North Carolina A&T has to do a good job on the rebounding. They can't give TCU second chance opportunities.
TCU, one of the better rebounding teams in the country a season ago. They were best in the Big 12, top 20 in the nation in rebounding margin, a +7.5. Only 8 to shoot for Clark and company for North Carolina A&T. Backdoor feed, and Shear takes it away. She's so good at that. 4 on 2. Feed it out to the corner. Suarez lines it up, rolls it down. Marta Suarez, her first 3 in a TCU uniform.
Again, a strong forward who has guard-like abilities, and you see it as she's able to knock down that 3.
Hunter to Miles, drop off inside. Silva for 2, and TCU has a quick burst of 7.
And what I like is that 4 players on TCU have scored thus far. It's really they're playing team basketball, looking for each other.
TCU also able to come up with a couple assists early on in this one, and 3 rebounds as well, all of them on the offensive side. Starting lineup almost entirely new. Donovan Hunter, the only returning starter for TCU, as the baseline J goes over the top for Demaya Tucker. She's back on the floor for North Carolina A&T. Really happy to have her after she missed a season with an ACL. A chance to see Suarez at 6'3" and exactly what she can do in the pick and roll. Silva to Miles, extra pass. Hunter spotting up from the corner. And
that you won't really see on the stat line. Right there, she's pursuing an offensive rebound, able to draw a foul right there. That's not something that's going to show up under her stat line, but again, getting her team another possession from that effort play.
Well, it's her 6th year of college basketball. She's been around for a long time, and so she brings that veteran ability and just that mindfulness as Olivia Miles carries it all the way to the cup with that deft move. Tried to double team her, but she goes right around it and heads to the line for 2.
You'll see that North Carolina A&T is trying to ice the screen. That means they're trying to not allow Olivia Miles to use it, but she knows how to snake the screen so well, getting downhill and attacking Clark's feet, able to draw a foul.
And really, Olivia Miles, yeah, she's going to have some 20, 25-point games this season, but she dominates the game without scoring.
She's always looking for her teammates. That's something that, you know, all of her teammates around her say, that she wants the ones around her to be better. And so you've always got to have your hands ready because you never know when it's coming to you.
Well, here at Pick and Roll University, TCU, Olivia Miles wanted an opportunity to show what she could do in a really good pro-style offense, and so far, so good. Dariana Howard trying to go baseline. Got Shear a little out of position, and Howard heads to the line to shoot a couple shots. First on Shear, and the first on TCU as well. For Dariana Howard, her 2nd year at North Carolina A&T after 1 at Delaware.
See, just really using her body there and absorbing the contact from Maddie Shear, getting herself to the free throw line.
We're going to talk a lot about the size of TCU, how they have 4 players 6'7" or larger, and that's the most in the nation. But as a team, they average 6'2" across the roster. The length is there all the way through, guards all the way through to the post.
And I think, you know, when talking to Mark Campbell, he said that's the biggest difference between, you know, the Texas, the South Carolinas that they were able to go up against last year, that they had size across the board. So that's what he sought out, you know, in the transfer portal as well as freshmen, is just trying to really have some depth in the size.
And boy, do they. Couple 6'7" players, 3 to be exact, one 6'8.5" as Miles gets stripped. A chance on the breakout. Layup good by Dariana Howard after the steal at midcourt by Paris Locke.
And that's Aggie basketball right there. They wanted to set the tone on the defensive end, you know, trapping. You'll see right there, everybody's trying to, you know, trap the ball.
Miles with a good idea, but it gets picked off by Dariana Howard. Back-to-back turnovers for TCU. The Aggies within 10 and looking to gain some momentum here in the first quarter. They only scored 5 in the first quarter at Lubbock. On the rebound, it is a foul on TCU. They'll give it to Donovan Hunter.
And this looks like the North Carolina A&T type of basketball when they have success, when they're, you know, really forcing the issue to trying to get to the basket and in the paint. And they're seeing that it's getting themselves to the free throw line.
Aggies great in the Colonial last year in rebounding margin. They were a plus 5.5. That led the Colonial. Top 40 in the nation in that respect. Great defensive team as well under Coach Robinson. Not a shooting foul.
I think they are going to call it back and say that it was a shooting foul.
Well, now they are. Okay. That's what they remember. That's what they're going to go with.
Yeah.
Paris Locke to the line. 59% foul shooter in her career. Mark Campbell wants to talk about it a bit. For the free throws, North Carolina A&T comes with Jemiah Lindsay, a freshman guard out of Rockingham, North Carolina. An energy player off the bench. One more for Paris Locke.
And while North Carolina A&T has had a lot of success last year and in previous years, you know, they've got a lot of freshmen. And so, you know, when I talked to Coach Robinson, he said, when I'm subbing in no experience. You see Lindsay coming in as a freshman, getting time early here in the first quarter. But these are learning experiences. You know, this is game 2 for the Aggies. And so they're really, you know, just trying to put one foot in front of the other.
In for the first time, 6'7" transfer, Kennedy Basham coming in from Arizona State, but She spent her first couple years at Oregon. Of course, that's where Mark Campbell and Xavi Lopez were, and that's a big reason for the connection that helped get her out of the transfer portal and to Fort Worth. Olivia Miles left wide open around the zone, misses, but Suarez with the rebound. Nice dump off inside. The push shot does not go for Basham off the feed, definitely from Veronica Sheffy.
Well, that's good action right there, just getting everybody involved, getting a rebound, and finding your 6-7.
Plenty of those to find in this offense for TCU this season. Opening moments of the year for the Big 12 defending champs against the team picked third in the Colonial this year. Trying to take it all the way, but losing it out. Last touched by TCU was Demaya Tucker.
3.7 on the shot clock. Again, this is a experience thing. They have to be aware of that and get a shot up.
Locke in the post, gives it up. Open jumper, a little bit long. Suarez with another carom for TCU. That is her third to go along with 5 points. TCU 1 of 7 from beyond the arc, but 4 of 5 from inside of 2. A third turnover for TCU.
And you'll see that, Olivia Miles is trying to just find her teammates. A couple of them have been turnovers, but it's the first game of the season, first time that you're really, tying your shoes up and playing against somebody else. So these are just learning experiences with having a lot of transfers on this team.
Miles is known for taking care of the basketball. That won't be a problem as the year goes on. Three-pointer missed off to the left by Kareem. Great rim run by Basham. She gets the bucket off the assist by Shear.
And Maddie Shear just automatically got her head up to try to find her big.
Kennedy Basham's first 2 in her TCU career. North Carolina A&T has missed their last 4 shots. Skipping it through the lane, and Basham is able to get the block on Demaya Tucker. Sheffy wants to go up the floor herself, all the way to the rack. Late foul call, or no, she just stepped out of bounds, I should say, as the ball fell back to her. And so it goes back over to North Carolina A&T.
Again, Sheffy's gonna really try to attack. She's a lefty, get down to her strong hand and get inside the paint.
Player that got to the line a lot as the leading scorer for San Diego State a season ago, and did her best work during conference play last year for San Diego State. Demaya Tucker coming out for the Aggies. Trying to solve this zone press as Jordan Brown is back in. Brown to run the show, transfer from Langston, an NAIA university in Oklahoma. Step back jumper does not fall for Howard, and there's Miles with the rebound. Rebounds her position as well as anybody. Suarez in transition for 3, over the top, last touched by North Carolina A&T. It stays right here with TCU.
And TCU is really trying to push the pace, get out in transition. It was a good look there by Marta Suarez, just not able to find the rim. But again, you're not mad about those. They're within your offense. It's what you work on.
TCU led the country in number of made threes. A high volume, great three-point shooting team. And Olivia Miles kind of had her teammate zig when she thought a zag was in order. For Miles, it's turnover number 4 already, which that may be her season high when all is said and done. She just doesn't turn it over that much.
And you see she's kind of upset at herself about it because she knows that she's better than that. But
early season jitters on all sides. And remember, North Carolina A&T has played a game. TCU has not. Shot clock didn't reset. Lindsay with 10. Brought in by Jordan Brown. Going to work against Miles. Miles slaps at her, but Brown is able to survive it and hit the baby hook inside.
Jordan Brown's really able to score at all 3 layers.
He had a carry here against Suarez, who she tried to bring it up herself. TCU, it's giveaway number 5.
TCU started out hot. Now they're kind of getting settled and making some mistakes. But, they've got to have their leader, Olivia Miles, to really bring them back together and kind of get them in line to start how they were.
TCU started with a 6-0 run, forcing North Carolina A&T to call timeout. TCU is led by as many as 13. It was 15-2 at one point. Right now in the zone, Miles behind a screen, sets up Sheffy, catch and shoot from the corner. Comes up short. TCU 1 of 10 from outside. But Miles is going to get a chance. Wide open. Straight up in the air and no. Howard for the rebound. Kareem trying to go to work, and it's going to be an offensive foul. She's called for the hook, trying to make her way around the 6'7" Kennedy Basham.
Basham's done a good job on the defensive end. She has one block thus far. There, she's just playing good defense with her hands up, and it was a right call there as she got the hook on Kareem.
Kareem, just a freshman from West Orange, New Jersey. Kennedy Basham, in her 4th year of college basketball, a big-time shot blocker. Last year, she blocked 83 shots at Arizona State. Nice pass out to the corner. Catch and shoot by Bigby. Her first loft of the year is over the top. But I love the find by Bielefeld. And a block by Basham back the other way. Sheffy was there too if Basham would not have been able to pack it.
Sheffy stayed in front of her. She's a really great defensive player, but it always never hurts to have backup like Basham.
And they've got rim protectors on rim protectors this year in Fort Worth. Last year it was Sedona Prince. And then if Prince got in foul trouble or got winded, couldn't play all 40 minutes, it wasn't quite as effective. 1 second on the clock in the quarter. Sheffy's pull-up off the rim and no. TCU starts incredibly hot. Up 15-2 early. A dry spell.
20% of its men, so they had to really reload, this roster, and they've got some of the most great pieces coming out of the portal.
And not only did they lose those 4 starters, and they were great players, as Silva blocks the shot inside. You had Aaliyah Robertson going down with an ACL. She was going to be a huge part of this season for TCU. And so you are going to have even more minutes eaten up by players a little bit unfamiliar to TCU fans, but they will be soon, as Silva, a very skilled big at 6'7", turns to the baseline but misses just short.
North Carolina A&T trying to get into some offense, was able to draw a foul. Again, I think that they're forcing the issue and it's working to their favor. They're wanting to use their speed and really emphasize, the defense turning into offense, and they've done a good job of that thus far.
Mark Campbell, even coming off of a 34-4 year last year, was feeling those nervous moments. He was excited about getting into true competition. You never know what you're going to have until you actually see it on the floor, right? Brown getting really competitive with Olivia Miles. Chase down to the corner. Still 10 to shoot. TCU making sure they're not out of position. Brown goes to work on Miles. Leaves it baseline. Floating jumper way over the top by Paris Locke. And nearly a shot clock violation. It does get off in time, but Demaya Tucker will be whistled for the violation as she could not hit rim.
And that's how you stay locked in, because none of those hit the rim, so you still got to go and pursue that rebound.
8 turnovers for North Carolina A&T. TCU, after the hot early start, started to turn it over. It's been some self-inflicted errors. Good inside-outside game. Catch and shoot 3. Rims around and off for Donovan Hunter. And it goes back to North Carolina A&T. But these are rhythm looks for TCU. This is the kind of offense, the kind of shots they want.
Yeah, and North Carolina A&T is in a zone, and usually you can shoot a team out of their zone. Right now, TCU is 1 for 12 from the three-point line. We're not going to see that very often. They are a really great three-point shooting team.
TCU trying to turn their defense into offense with a little trap across midcourt. What a take inside by Jordan Brown, going 1v1 against a great defender in Maddie Shear and picking up the and one.
Again, just using her skill set and just taking that contact. You know, Jordan had to refill Jordan Dorsey, you know, in the role that she played for North Carolina A&T. And so Coach Robinson has really been challenging her to do that, and she's stepping up.
Yeah, Dorsey was one of the top point guards in the Colonial last year. Shear going down the baseline, runs into the double. Miles always willing to give it up. Hunter rings it up out of the corner. And that's TCU basketball. Donovan Hunter, her first 3 of the season.
Donovan Hunter really worked on that 3. You know, you could see it towards the end of the season last year, how she sought to hit it with more proficiency. Ended the year at 33% behind the red.
And that will definitely do. Hunter also averaging 7 points a game late in the season, the Big 12 action and into postseason play, and Hunter takes it away. Big part of her game. Layup is good in transition. Donovan Hunter has 5 quick ones.
Donovan Hunter, you know, she's a upperclassman now. You know, she's really gained a lot of experience over the summer, was able to go to a Nike camp and really work there, and so you can see that kind of shining through.
Nice take by the freshman, Anaya Kareem, learning from previous experiences against Clara Silva.
Just going through that contact, going through the long arm and just finishing. It's a really good bucket.
Now she's got a lot of length. 6'2", but she looks bigger than that, honestly. Off the long miss, long rebound. Brown not stopping the ball, kicks it out to the corner. Pull up, blocked. Miles comes out with it. Miles, wraparound pass. Suarez gives it up. Now Miles in the corner. Back to Shear. Her 3 comes up short.
TCU need to get their legs under them right now. Again, this is the first game for them, and so you can kind of see the back and forth, kind of leaving those 3-pointers short.
Just a free-flowing offense under Mark Campbell. He wants a lot of shots. He wants quick-moving offense. The pick and roll O, and it's going to be a carry on Olivia Miles. Miles, her 5th turnover of the matchup already, and Miles doesn't even seem aware that that's what happened. Interesting.
And that's how something TCU has to be aware of. That's the second carrying call that they've got called for. Olivia first, or I'm sorry, Marta Suarez first, then Olivia. So there's got to make sure to keep their hand on top of the ball because it's obviously a point of emphasis.
Yeah, kind of got caught on her hip as well, I think, which didn't help. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists so far for Olivia Miles in her TCU debut. Looking for another All-American season after transferring in from Notre Dame. Dariana Howard. Foul trouble in the second quarter as well. It's huge against a good shooting team not to put them on the free throw line. Inside outside game. Clark tries the tray. She hasn't shot a lot of those in her career. Here comes Miles again. No look underneath to Suarez, knocked away by the length of Dariana Howard.
But, you know, you see how Miles is always looking towards the basket. And you see Marta Suarez, she's cut a lot. And so her teammates are looking for that big frame. And TCU, again, just really sharing the ball and looking for each other. It's not really connecting just yet, but it's good looks.
But she sees those windows before they open, and that's what's going to help the efficiency of the offense. Oh, love that reverse pivot by Marta Suarez on the fadeaway for 2.
And she's such a dynamic forward, just with guard-like skills, like I mentioned before. You're seeing it on that possession, and TCU able to get another possession here. Taylor Bigby, a name that we're very familiar with, getting some time.
There's Basham, pick, and the roll to the hole. Instead, it's Suarez for 3. She comes up short. Long rebound to Jessup. TCU still by 10. But North Carolina A&T hanging around. Clark looking for the triple. And on the rebound, a foul's called against the Aggies, their first of the quarter.
Great shooters, and so I'm sure they'll knock a couple down here soon.
Olivia Miles on cue.
She heard me.
She did. She shot 41% from 3 last season, an outstanding number.
And I think she's been really looking to get her teammates involved more so than getting in her shot. And so, and that's a leader right there, able to bring her team back.
And that's why you want the ball in Shania Clark's hands. She's really tough to handle inside the post. That's a foul on Taylor Bigby, and Clark heads to the hole.
And Clark had just such great footwork and great presence there in the paint, able to get herself to the free throw line. She's a 70% free throw shooter from last game. And so, you know, if you get her in the paint, just stay strong and don't foul, because she's going to knock them down if you get her to the line.
Yeah, she's had some years where she's really shot the free throw well. Coach Robinson would love to see her take a step forward there, because she only shot 60% last season from the free throw line, but she did shoot 52% from the floor, and that is outstanding. As you mentioned, nearly averaging a double-double last season. TCU by a dozen. They've been in control the whole way, even if it hasn't been fluid. Basham doubled down. Suarez gives it up. Miles left open. You can't do that very often. Olivia Miles making everyone pay. She's the first in double figures.
Back-to-back threes there for Olivia Miles. Again, when she looks for her shot, she knocks it down for sure.
Three goggles are working today. First of a doubleheader here at TCU, by the way. Men have a game at 7 o'clock Central Time. Little stagnant offense for Paris Locke and company, backing into Suarez. Suarez closes down the space, but a good finish by Paris Locke, twirling in the lane.
Paris Locke really can score off that bounce, and so, again, just being able to handle it against Marta Suarez and finish.
Suarez looking to track this one down. A collision, falls right to Hunter. Miles not looking for her own shot, even though she's knocked down back-to-back threes. Wants the pick. Wraps around the pass. Great look at a triple, and it's rimmed down by Bigby. Now the three-pointers are raining.
Ever since we talked about it coming out of break, you know, TCU has knocked down three. It's looking more like themselves.
Backcourt pressure. Howard able to elude it. Less than 3 left in the opening half. North Carolina A&T has been hanging in there with one of the better teams in the nation. And great job by Shania Clark to do her work early and back up a physical 5 in Kennedy Basham.
Yeah, she really likes to work up the lane and kind of get her position early. Like I talked about in the open, her team is always looking for her as the first option. So when she does that work early, she's going to get the ball.
Foul on Basham is also the 5th team foul on TCU, and so free throws the rest of the way in the first half for the Aggies. Clark, again, if she stays on the floor, everything settles down. They've got the option inside. Their defense is so much better, especially rim protecting wise. Just stay out of foul trouble, and the Aggies are a whole different team.
And her senior leadership, you know, they have a lot of freshmen transfers who are on the North Carolina team. And so, again, with her presence on her floor, the leadership and just leading by example as well really does help the Aggies all over.
Bigby wide open in the corner, just knocked one down. Not this one. Basham has the rebound. Miles won't settle. Instead, shows and goes. Gets leg whipped and heads to the line to shoot 2. It's a foul on Shania Clark. Olivia Miles toes the line.
See, in that possession, I would have liked to see Taylor Bigby attack the basket, but you'll see that Olivia Miles, she's knocked down 2 this quarter, but saw a wide open lane and an ability to get another foul there on their best player in Clark.
And just a reminder on Olivia Miles, she would have been probably the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft had she come out last year. This is a pro playing at the collegiate level. That's what the Big 12 is going to get to see this year. It's going to be an absolute pleasure to watch Olivia Miles in her senior season.
Again, she just really wants to get better and just be her best self going into the W. She said the W is going to be here, but she just really want to work on her confidence in her game and be another year out from her ACL injury that she had.
Miles sees the pass before it happens. 15-point lead, 5 to shoot. What a pass! Whipping it from the hip down to Basham for 2.
And it's a 30-second shot clock for a reason. North Carolina A&T did a really good job of playing 27 seconds of defense, but they didn't finish out the possession, and Basham able to get 2 on the board.
And the crowd here in Fort Worth knows what it is seeing. Meanwhile, Basham does exactly what she normally does on the defensive end, not only with a block, but also getting it back. And so Basham makes plays on both ends of the floor. Sheffy for three. It rains in. TCU can do no wrong in the last 5 minutes of action.
We're going to talk a lot about Sheffy on the defensive end, but she's a 37% three-point shooter. So, you know, she has the ability to hit that as well.
Foul on Olivia Miles, and Miles is going to come out of the game. Miles, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists here in the first half. Looks a little bit labored coming out. Petra Knight, the longtime athletic trainer, checking on her. So is Mark Campbell. And she shakes everybody off. I'm all right.
Yeah. Again, first game of the season, first time, you know, getting up and down, real referees, you know, just game shape is much different than practice shape. So everybody's getting back into it.
1 of 2 trip. Lindsay, the quick hands, and creates an opportunity for Locke. And the Aggie offense again. A little over a minute left in the second quarter. 8 to shoot. Locke from the baseline. Bigby, a high hand. Now Locke shows her back. Backs in. Goes away from the shot blocker, but misses short. Basham with the rebound, and Sheffy brings it up the floor.
And getting into that pick and roll that they like to see.
So Sheffy will do the honors as the point guard here. Shear out to the corner. Lefty three, in and out for Bielefeld, but she crashes in, grabs her own miss. The tie ball possession arrow favors TCU. It'll stay right here.
And usually as a shooter, you know exactly where your shot is going to go if it's coming off. And so Bielefeld just able to get right there, get her own rebound, and get TCU another possession.
Game clock to shot clock difference, 21. The defense on the inbound, but Shear able to take it baseline. Knocked out last touch by the Aggies. The Aggies have a couple fouls to give if they want to play that game. Hand off to Sheffy. Basham has to go down on the ground. Another tie ball, and this time it'll go back over to North Carolina A&T.
And what I've really admired is North Carolina A&T's willingness to get on the floor. Anytime there's a loose ball, they're getting after it. Multiple players are diving for it, and that's the type of effort that you want to see.
Shot clock is off. TCU doesn't want to foul here at the end of the half. We'll see a solid defensive possession. The Aggies trying to finish with a bucket. Dariana Howard. Round that high screen. Howard backs in, throws it up top. Kareem straight on three, and she hits. Anaya Kareem knocks down the triple. Last few moments of the half from midcourt, off to the right, and no for Bielefeld. Bud and Fort Worth. And Miles, of course, starting with the ball in her hands and diving right to the rack for 2.
Just like the start of the game, she had the first shot going downhill for a layup, starting the second half the same way.
Finishes so easily with either hand going to the rack. Shania Clark, 5 points in the first half for North Carolina A&T. Hands off to Brown, loses it off of Miles, able to regain her dribble after that. Here's Jessup. Again, this offense a little stationary for the Aggies. Catch and shoot by Jessup out of the corner, and a bad angle banker goes down.
And if her feet are set, she can hit that three-point shot. Was able to find the bank this Thursday.
Made 6 threes a season ago. Nice move, baseline, out of the double team. Clara Silva gets it done.
Little reverse layup through contact, just showing that her skill set there in the post.
Silva getting time at that 5 spot as the opener for TCU. at a loaded position for the Horned Frogs. Brown inside, little triple action move, but her hook shot doesn't go. Shear brings down the rebound and leads the break. Hunter back outside. Shear, wide open look, around and off.
Maddie Shear can knock down that three. She's a 33.6% three-point shooter. Hasn't found one today, but again, she sat out all last year with a back injury, so just trying to get back into the groove and back to her game. Has been part of this TCU program for a year, as you mentioned, but now that's certainly got to be tough. You've been a shooter all of your career. Have to take a complete year off because of that back injury. She's working her way back into it. Here's Olivia Miles, keeping it going. Shear with the extra pass, Willing out to Hunter, in and out, but right there for the stick back and getting fouled, Clara Silva. And Clara Silva just hanging around, trying to get those offensive boards. It's her second put-back opportunity, able to get herself to the free throw line. And again, just having that size there in the paint for TCU is just such an advantage. Just able to go right back up. And Clark drawing that contact. And Clark just couldn't help herself, and that is foul number 4 on Shania Clark, and she has to come out. That is enormous for the Aggies. They're such a different team when Clark is on the floor versus when she's on the bench, so they're going to have to find some production of offense elsewhere. Silva, 71% foul shooter over the course of her career. Knocks down 1 of 2, 7 points, 8 rebounds for the Kentucky transfer, originally from Portugal. One of the best basketball players for her age in the world, says Mark Campbell. Pull-up jumper by Locke, comes up way short. Olivia Miles falls right to her, and she leads the break. But an offensive foul called on Silva for clearing out. And I think North Carolina A&T has done a really good job in transition defense. You know, with TCU's ability to really get up and down, they've kind of held their own. They're getting back, they're aware. You'll see Jessup right there on Miles early and often, and so that's what you have to do, especially against a team like TCU who can really get going quick. Well, for Coach Robinson, defense is the foundation. If you want to get on the floor for him, the first thing you have to do is defend, and you also have to know the scout as well. Otherwise, you're just not going to get playing time. And, you know, one thing when I was talking to him, he really emphasized that, you know, with transfers, with this college basketball age, you know, a lot of people coming from different places, but he has a winning program. And so just trying to get kids to buy into how they do things there at North Carolina A&T has been a task, but one that he's up for. TCU breaks into the front court quickly. Miles taking over the point guard spot this year for TCU after Haley Van Lith did a great job last year. Out of the corner, Marta Suarez reigns one in. She has 2 triples. And a turnover on the Aggies. And I really like Donovan Hunter. She's always in that backcourt, just kind of playing that token defense, just making it difficult and making the other team think. But Marta Suarez, feet set, teammates looking for her, is able to knock down her 10th point of her first game in white. And Shear may not run the point a lot this season, but she's always looking for her teammates with that extra pass. Another no-look feed by Miles. Shear shows and goes, jumps a pass out to Hunter, catch and shoot triple off to the left. Suarez, the last to touch it. But the coaching staff for TCU, they like the way the offense is running right now. Maybe the shots aren't going down to the volume that they would prefer, but they're getting the shots they want for the most part. Yeah, and I think if you get in the habit of finding your teammates, finding your shots within the offense, that's what they're happy about. Like they've scouted these players, they know their skill set and their ability, and so they know that those shots are going to go down. Nice drop shot leaning to the hole by Paris Locke. Her first bucket of the second half for the Baltimore native. Just able to move off of the ball, and the teammates find her there at that 10 feet. Swinging side to side on the zone and down low, but turning to the bucket. Silva comes up a little short. Kareem with a high screen, coming downhill.
And Locke unable to finish, but Kareem follows it up, blocked inside by the length of Silva. And here come the Horned Frogs. Silva, Suarez for two.
We love that big-to-big action because, you know, sometimes on the team, the guards have majority of the possessions. And so, you know, as a post player that you want to share that love with your fellow post player. So Silva to Suarez. Nice connection there.
11 helpers for TCU on 18 made baskets. And that entry feed a little bit low, intended for Lindsay, trying to cut to the hole.
In a short corner, making Howard trying to decide what she's going to guard. And again, Suarez is doing a really good job of cutting to the basket and finding those openings.
And it's one thing to have length, it's one thing to have big players, but to have skilled big players, it takes you to another level.
It really does, because they're able to, you know, have more than one way that they can score, and you've got to guard them just straight up.
Wow, Suarez doing work inside the paint, getting Howard out of position and earning foul shots. Marta Suarez, so smart. And she'll have foul shots on the other side. The versatile playmaker for the Horned Frogs has 12, helping lead the way. Ty Clark right now not in the game and wants to be out there for her team. Not a ton of free throws in this one. TCU at 70%. Coming off the screen, the three-pointer by the freshman clangs off for Lindsay. TCU has the largest advantage at 22. And people want it to click and work all at once. Sometimes it's hard, but this is a deep team for TCU. Sheffy takes it away, and get a load there of the way that they share the basketball. Hunter and Bigby, a couple returners, combining for the bucket there.
But the thing is, Coach Campbell said their secret sauce is getting the right kids, you know, making sure that the personalities mesh and just knowing that they are really good people before they are basketball players. And so, like you're saying, sharing the ball, they just want each other to be great.
Three-pointer off the mark by Kareem. Now, and they've worked so hard in the offseason and worked for each other, unselfishly so, and that's exactly why Mark Campbell's so excited about seeing this product on the floor for the first time. It kind of the fruit of their labor.
For sure. He said they had a blue-collar summer. They had to get in and put in the work, and that's what they did. And so now, you know, coming November, this is where you kind of see all the work that you put in behind the scenes shine.
Scherer getting an opportunity at the point guard spot without Olivia Miles on the floor. This one gets tipped away. Good takeaway by Lindsay.
So she's getting used to it, unfortunately. I hope that she's okay. She's staying in the game, so.
And it's interesting, you mentioned the mix of transfers and the mix of freshmen, but then you've got a freshman like Bielefeld who, you know, comes over from Germany where she's played in a high-level professional environment for Germany as well. And so it's like getting a mix of a freshman and a seasoned pro.
I think it's been a really unique experience this summer, and kind of that TCU has had. They had so many players who had professional commitments, you know, in different countries and international play. You've got Clara Silva, you have Bielefeld, you have Taylor Bigby, who went over and played with Natalie Mazurek, and so you have Olivia Miles, who went and played for the Team USA. It's just been a lot of development that's happened before they stepped on campus.
This one will stay with TCU. North Carolina A&T ratcheting up the scrambling defense, especially without Olivia Miles' dribbling ability on the floor for TCU. So right now the Horned Frogs letting the ball do the work, if you will. Wraparound pass, kicked out. Nice pass by Shear. Baseline drive by Bigby, but the Aggies come up with a turnover. Kareem rips it away.
But I like that Olivia Miles isn't on the floor right now, because you also have to figure it out when she's not out there. She's not going to play 40 minutes a game because TCU has so much depth, but they're going to have to try to figure out how are they going to score when Miles is off of the floor. They have so many different threats, but somebody's got to step up.
You say she wants to get back out there, and the way that she's hopping around makes you believe that it may be more of a cramping type issue than anything else wrong. She's right there at the edge, ready to come back in. An arcing three by Crystal Hardy off the mark, but on the loose ball, a foul called against TCU. They'll give it to Bielefeld. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in the first half for Olivia Miles. She was on that triple-double pace. See how much more time she gets tonight, depending on the game situation and her health.
I'd like to see North Carolina A&T execute right here. They haven't scored in a minute, and so especially with Clark on the bench, so they've got to generate some offense in quickly.
You know, lost in all this is that North Carolina A&T is 1 for their last 11 and 0 for their last 6 from the floor. This will be the 4th team foul on TCU as Taylor Bigby picks up her 3rd. TCU leading wire to wire. It's their season opener. North Carolina A&T lost in Lubbock 78-40 last time out. TCU will be back in action against another team from Texas, Sam Houston, on Sunday. Locke may have gotten away with a travel, misses inside. Bigby, a big rebound, and she starts the break. Chance for Basham, one-on-one. Goes to work on the drop step, misses a little short.
Kareem's doing a good job of holding her own in the paint against Basham. Basham got a good look, but again, wasn't able to finish it. Kareem able to get that rebound. And yet, as a freshman, you're just really out here getting experience against a really good post player.
Catch and shoot three, dropped in for the freshman Crystal Hardy. She knocked down a 3 in Lubbock on Monday as well.
Yeah, that's what she can do. She can hit that 3, was 50% in that game against Lubbock, or Texas Tech, excuse me.
Oh, great pass by Bielefeld. She hits Bigby in the corner, who rains home a 3.
And Taylor Bigby's able to knock down that 3, 32% from the 3 last year, especially when she's in rhythm, has her feet set. She's able to hit those shots.
She makes 500 threes a day in practice just to get in that rhythm. If she's able to knock it down with regularity and be a spot-up shooter and a great defender, TCU's going to go far. Clean block by Basham. And this time, Bigby headed to the hole. And one! Taylor Bigby. Bench points for the big guard.
And that's where you see the growth in her game. Normally, last year I think she would have shied away from that contact. But again, able to go down on 2 feet, pump fake, and one. You see she hit a 3 in the possession right before that. She had a great summer, and it's showing here in the first game of the season.
The 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Nevada, a 3-time state champ, misses on the free throw, but a good rebound as Sheffy goes up over everybody. Sheffy, the smallest player for TCU at 5'9", she loses it out.
And that's wild to say the smallest player is 5'9".
I know. That's how you get an average of 6'2" on this team right now.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a lot.
And it's going to be all over the scouting report that opponents prepare as well. And Shear trying to fight over the screen and stay with Elliott Jessup. She's called for her 3rd foul, and it's the 5th team foul on TCU. The Horned Frogs over the limit here in the 3rd. So Jessup earns a couple. Jessup 2 of 2 from the floor in this game. 2 points, or 2 rebounds, I should say. Now 6 points. And there's 16 minutes of action.
A sophomore on this team. Again, this is a young team. And so she's able to have some experience, bring some experience to the floor, especially with Clark on the bench.
Picking up the first start of her career. She came off the bench all 28 of her appearances last season. Skip pass out to Bielefeld, and she tried to let Jessup come in and is called for the travel. Meanwhile, looks like Mark Campbell wanted her to just go ahead and pull the trigger from the corner.
Again, a freshman just getting used to it, just getting used to basketball here over in the States. You know, like we talked about her international experience there prior to coming to TCU.
5 seconds left in the quarter. Great defense by Sheffy. Hardy can't get rid of it in time. And at the end
Talked to Coach Mark Campbell. He said he knew there was going to be turnovers. I haven't heard him say anything about them as he's standing in front of us. So, again, first game of the season, first game jitters. You're just learning each other, and it'll be all right.
On this end of the floor, TCU's been pretty good, limiting North Carolina A&T to 28% shooting. Shear, whistle for the foul here. That is the fourth on Maddie Shear. TCU does have 10 blocks and 6 steals as a team, getting active defensively tonight. Terrell Robinson going into his bench, and again, they're mostly freshmen. Imagine having in your second game to have to step out there against the likes of TCU, an Elite 8 team. That's what Crystal Hardy and company are having to do.
But one thing that, you know, he talked about is he wants their presence to be felt by every opponent. I think that they've done a really good job here, you know, at TCU of really showing up, you know, playing to their ability and, you know, not knocking down, especially just because it's a Big 12 team or, you know, #1 in the Big 12. They've really held their own.
Absolutely. And Olivia Miles is back out there, of course, for TCU after coming out in the third quarter. A little bit of an injury concern. Kennedy Basham has had an impactful first game as a Horned Frog. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 4 blocks. Nice sidestep by Suarez and finishes off that extra little shift to the hole.
I think what really, you know, separates her is her footwork. You'll see right there, she came in on a jump stop, allowing her to pick which pivot foot that she wants to. Found one and just stepped through. Able to put 2 points on the board for TCU.
And she leads all scorers with 15 in her debut for the Horned Frogs. She's also just 8 points shy of 1,000 in her career. Late in the shot clock, step back 3 for Hardy. And it doesn't draw iron off the glass. TCU ball leading by 26.
I mean, and we talked about the transfers. You talked about how she's almost at 1,000. You got Miles, who's over that, 1,430. You got Sheffy at 880, Cher at 859. So you've got some people who can really score.
TCU doing a great job skipping over the top of the defense to get the open look by Miles. She comes up short, though. She had made a couple threes earlier in the matchup. North Carolina A&T comes back with Paris Locke, a preseason second team, Colonial Athletic Association member. And Eva Andrews is also in for North Carolina A&T. At times, TCU has shown some three-quarter court zone. Not right now, just picking up full court. All the way to the glass. Off the mark by Andrews. Offensive rebound, and the stick back is blocked as Basham picks up her 5th block of the game, this time on Locke. Miles wants it again. She shows and goes. Wraparound pass. Suarez, 4-2.
Love that connection right there. Always looking for each other. And again, continuing to slash to the basket is Marta Suarez.
Get used to seeing that. 6 assists for Olivia Miles to go along with her 8 rebounds and 13 points. Aggies slowing things down a little bit with Myers. Picked up by Basham. Dips to the cup. Can't hit the shot. Now TCU breaks out. don't have numbers, but Bigby takes anyway with a great pass to Shear. Wrap around inside. Basham thought she was fouled with no call.
I wish she would have took a half second more to gather herself and really go up.
Myers now with 10 to shoot. Bigby stays right with her over the screen. Underneath, Kareem against Basham, and the easy block with 2 on the shot clock. And that's just Kennedy Basham doing things that she has done her whole career. That is 6 blocks tonight.
And you'll see Basham right there, like you said, at block. Clara Silva, coming in for her. And being able to have 2 6'7s try to come in and out for each other. So there's always some size on the floor for TCU.
Good shot right off the glass and in for North Carolina A&T. And Demaya Tucker finally gets on the board. She led the Aggies with 13 points in the road game at Texas Tech. Great find by Silva from out front. That's the vision of the graduate, finding Dono Hunter down low. Silva showing off the complete package. That's a travel.
Myers is really trying to kind of make it happen for herself and kind of force the issue there. Again, that's just something, you know, a freshman learning the game and trying to get some points and be impactful on the floor.
Myers coming out. Meanwhile, it's been a breakout performance for Suarez. 17 points in her debut. They're really playing through her. After Shear, Miles drives, flips it underneath. Layup doesn't fall. Kept alive by Silva. Suarez makes herself available. Out of the corner. Comes up just short, but great ball movement. Good court vision for the Horned Frogs as a whole.
Really sharing the ball, getting second chance opportunities, and that's all about effort.
It is. And defensively, though, that's a place that they've really brought it all afternoon and evening. North Carolina A&T only shooting 26%. Laura Bielefeld back in, a freshman who has earned it. Glad to have her in the rotation. Olivia Miles in her debut, whips it out. Suarez all the way inside. Marta Suarez, the array of moves. She showed them all this evening.
And North Carolina A&T is sticking into that zone. Again, kind of trying to combat that pick and roll action that TCU likes to use. But Marta Suarez putting the ball on the floor, waiting and patiently attacking the basket.
She's been given more freedom here at TCU than she has anywhere else. Suarez, 7 of 11 from the floor. And inside the arc, she is a sparkling 5 of 6 tonight. That's some efficiency. Horned Frogs by 30. Out of a double timeout, if you will, by North Carolina A&T. 10 on the shot clock and a carry. It's been a consistent call tonight. Looks like the officials got together and they said, hey, this is something we're going to call at least early this season.
Yeah, it's going to be a point of emphasis. We'll see if that's consistent throughout.
17 turnovers for North Carolina A&T. Coming on for the first time, number 14, Natalie Mazurek, second-year player, transfer from South Dakota, replacing Silva. Her night probably done. Mazurek can shoot from outside. Miles moving the ball, fakes a pass, makes the shot. Olivia Miles from deep, the night 3 for TCU. Miles obviously not 100%, maybe cramping up a little bit, but fighting through it and still playing really well. On the take, Paris Locke fouled by the freshman Bielefeld.
And Paris Locke is looking to attack in transition and get downhill. Had Bielefeld on her hip, so was continuing that, went up and found herself on the free throw line. And a fake a pass to go up and knock down a three. And the defense has to bite because they know that her first option is to look to pass and find her teammate, so they had to react to that. But again, such a good three-point shooter.
So that is her last moment on the floor tonight, and you can see how much this team likes one another as Miles comes out after a 16-point performance in her debut. Just a kind of a taste of what's to come for Olivia Miles in her graduate season. On for the first time, a Texas A&M transfer in Talia Parker. She played locally at South Grand Prairie, and a long athletic player with a high upside for Mark Campbell's team.
Again, really good to see her get out and get some experience here with the team. You know, like you said, as a local kid, I'm sure she has family out to come see her in purple and white for the first time, but again, just really getting some experience here on the floor.
Number 60 recruit in the country, number 6 in Texas in 2024. Missed the end of last season with the injury for the Aggies down in College Station. Now looking for a chance to make an impact here in the Big 12 with TCU. Shania Clark getting back out there for the Aggies. Remember, she's playing with 4 fouls, and that's a travel. Called against Amaya Tucker. Again, she missed all of last season with an ACL injury. She's trying to get back to her form that had her as one of the best guards in the CAA a few years ago. Parker off the jump stop, loses it going up. Chance to break out for Myers. Underneath, layup goes for Eva Andrews.
I love the transition offense there for the Aggies. Just really taking advantage of the opportunity.
Mazarek got to get out on her, one of the best shooters. Oh, wow. Did you see Parker get up on that play for the offensive rebound?
She's such an athletic guard, and so we'll see a lot of that. Just making really athletic plays to make you go, wow.
Mazarek, another chance. And once more, Parker is there with the quick hands to take it away. Hunter finds Silva underneath, power dribble, step back. That is pretty over Clark.
That move right there reminds me a little of Dirk Nowinski,
yeah,
kind of fade in there, that step back, a move that Clara Silva has got down.
And to do it for a post at 6'7" is very impressive.
For sure. And they had 2 threes that weren't knocked down, so they decided to go into their 6'7" post, who's so skilled in the paint with the little step back jumper there.
Although Silva was called for the foul on the other end, trying to deny Shania Clark. Clark will have better nights. Up to 6 points for this game, but really hampered by her foul trouble this evening. 4 of 5 at the foul line for Shania Clark, the redshirt senior out of Fort Myers, Florida. Played her entire career with North Carolina A&T, which, of course, that seems like the exception these days for one player to spend 5 years at a place.
Exactly, and then, the only person who else will do that is Aaliyah Robertson, but she's out this year for TCU, but she's been here all 4 years from the ups and from the downs. And so she'll be here 5 years, coming back next year after her ACL recovery.
Oh, that is smooth for Clara Silva, extending the range, and she's in double figures. 13 points for Clara Silva tonight on 6 of 8 shooting. Another foul here, though.
Just left wide open. She does have that 15-foot range. Coach Campbell just coaching her up. She got 2 back-to-back fouls that Clark was able to draw against her.
Part of the 5-player all-tournament team for the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup. I mean, just an outstanding player on both ends. So for the FIBA Women's World Cup, she averaged 23, 10, and 3 blocks against some of the best under-19s in the world.
And, you know, this is her sophomore year, so she's just had such a great experience there in the summer, you know, as a freshman, and be able to bring that experience and what she's learned to TCU.
Bielefeld, wow, at 6'4", tiptoeing the baseline and finding Donovan Hunter to singe the strings from deep.
And again, I love Donovan Hunter's confidence that she's came in with this game. You know, and listening to interviews for her, that's something that she really wanted to work on and take steps in, and I see it. Than the rest of the freshmen being able to work out with the team and just kind of get acclimated to the coaching staff. So good to see her get some time in the first game of the season.
Number 44 there in the post with TCU, Emily Hunter from Nolensville, Tennessee. 3-star recruit. Such an interesting story how she lived in Japan through middle school and actually wanted to play pro soccer.
At 6'7", playing pro soccer.
I love it. I want to see her at striker or something. That would just be fun.
For sure. Again, we were talking about soccer earlier. That'd be an exciting soccer game to see her in.
I don't know. You know, not as if, you know, the TCU women's soccer program needs a lot of help these days. They're doing just fine, thank you. But, I mean, on set pieces, why not? Donovan Hunter whips it out to Parker, gaining confidence as this game goes on. Her step back doesn't go. Bielefeld, rebound in traffic. Back out for Hunter, who sticks the 3 again.
And she's looking like she's confident from behind that three-point line. Back-to-backs there for Donovan Hunter.
For Donovan Hunter, 15 points and then a takeaway. Trying to find Bielefeld. She wasn't available. Nice job by Kareem to fill that passing lane with a minute to go.
She's using that speed to get the turnover. She knew exactly where Donovan Hunter was wanting to go.
See the 15 points for Hunter. That's just 3 shy of her career high, which was in that Sweet 16 game. Or excuse me, the game to get to the Sweet 16, I should say, against Louisville. Mark Campbell getting to the Elite 8 with his program in just the second year at the helm here in Fort Worth. And the maiden voyage in 25-26 looking pretty good.
Smile on his face. We're talking about you. He can't hear us, but...
Bielefeld around that screen, looking for Hunter. Instead, she pulls the trigger. Hunter, nice rebound. Down to Donovan Hunter, kisses it off the glass.
A little Hunter-to-Hunter connection there.
Watch out, especially when it's deer season. Parker does not hear no shot. Need to get it to somebody who hears not to take one.
Yeah.
That'll do it tonight for the TCU Horned Frogs. Mark Campbell a little bit nervous coming into his 3rd season.